First off, there's been a right ignoramus talking about the tragic drink driving accident in Hayes which killed Tracy Blackwell's son and two other lads. It's John Lawrence again, who else would it be? He's been an utter calamity in the last couple of weeks. What's happened to him in the last couple of weeks? Let's go through of some of these things. He's been contributing to the harassment of a British journalist who's already in a safe house with her kids. You'd think anybody who cares about British women and kids would just leave her alone. Not him, not Mr. Lawrence. Common sense is just not that common these days. Same with common decency. Justice for Ellie this week distanced themselves from him, and they said that he's not welcome to use Ellie's name. Ellie Williams' mum, Alison, said this in a Facebook comment when she saw that he was bringing bad publicity to the Justice for Ellie campaign and Ellie's family. So, just like any decent family, they told him to sling his hook, just like they told Mr. Robinson. He's also brought a little business in Barrow, a burger business in Barrow, into disrepute by associating with one of the owners there. That's been picked up, and there's a blog written about it, so he's putting pressure on that business now. On top of that, this week he's been asking for money to go to Dover for a couple of weeks in September. For 2 weeks in September, can you imagine that? He wants other people to pay his way so he can stay in Dover for a couple of weeks doing what? What's he going to achieve in Dover? He's saying that he's going to go and help Active Patriot. Helping with what? What? Recording a few people getting onto a coach? A few migrants getting onto a coach? Look, only low IQ people will think that he's going to achieve something in Dover. It's also come to light that his ex, Arlene, the Scottish lady, she's actually accused him of domestic violence, so he's got that hanging over his head as well. In the last couple of days, he couldn't help himself. He's resurrected a bunch of lies around the JFOB campaign, the Justice for Our Boys campaign, and Tracy Blackwell, making it worse for the families involved. Of course, he's a calamity. What do you expect from this man? What he did in this instance was he tried to use a selected sentence from a crash report to hang a conspiracy theory of a cover-up on. And he was saying all sorts of untrue things which were debunked. There's a video out there debunking him, and that's online. It was just posted in the last couple of days or so. You can go and watch it. He looks like a real ignoramus. If you want to know more about that case, one of the people who knows the case well is Stephen Burrell. Stephen was the first one to do a video on the subject, and people were actually trying to shut him down because he was speaking too much truth at that time. What he was saying was right all along. He knew it from day one. There's also a couple of good blogs out there. Perhaps the best one is entitled Glen Saffer Thanks Muslims. You may want to read that if you want to bring yourself up to speed on that case and just get the full facts. If you're interested in facts, you may want to read that. But in reality, it's not difficult to find the facts that you need, so you know that you were lied to by the Tommy fans who were saying that it was a Muslim terror attack when in fact, all along it was just a Hindu named drink driver who was speeding at that time. If anybody has questions on the case, you can ask Stephen Burrell or you can ask us. We know the case inside out too. The other question is about Danny Tommo. Because he's off the scene, there's a lot of speculation around him. This is one of the more bizarre bits of speculation. There's this claim that he's in a commune, a gay commune, in the Middle Eastern country which the TR News cabal want you to support. The one which Avi Yemeni served as a soldier for, the one where Brian of London lives. But we can answer this in simple. It's not true. It's not true. Danny Tommo is actually in Portsmouth. He's spending time with his kids. He felt betrayed by Tommy, and he was also using food banks at one point.
And I'd like to ask you if you can throw me a couple of quid to help with my travel. It'd be much appreciated. As you know, I'm not on any payroll.
As Tommy was clearly not paying him, can you imagine that? That's as close as you can get to writing the word mug on your forehead without physically doing it. getting somebody to be your errand boy and hype man both on and offline whilst you're living in a £1,000,000 house, wearing Gucci and whining and dining in the best restaurants, whilst your errand boy is using food banks. That's basically saying you've taken that person for a mug. Danny's in big trouble with the law, and he's still awaiting his trial, which is due to be held in Kidderminster. He did mess up, Danny messed up. He did this whilst serving Tommy and being a Tommy wannabe. The good thing is, he's not serving Tommy any longer, so he can spend time in raising his kids. This is great because he really does not want to end up like Glen Saffer. That's the man, Mr. Saffer. He's the one who served Tommy and is still serving Tommy. He's served Tommy for over a decade, sans pay, almost like Tommy was his son or even lover, whilst his actual son, Bradley, was involved in a gang, not a grooming gang. The gang Bradley Saffer was involved in, they were robbing high-value items from people's homes. Next time Glen Saffer is about, pull out a crayon and ask if you can scroll the word mug on his forehead. He could have been helping keep his son out of trouble and spending time in raising him properly and raising him not to be a thief, instead of wasting time being an old Tommy Robinson errand boy. Danny, if you're listening, mate, keep your head down, son. Send us a message if you need any help or any assistance. Concentrate on raising your kids and getting food on the table. We always suspected that you would be able to see through that cabal, the TR cabal. I'd imagine they never even offered you a trip to that Middle Eastern country.